Have you ever stood up to make coffee and felt a small, soft shadow attach itself to your ankles? You turn around and there it is again, your cat, studying you with those deliberate eyes as if your next move is the most interesting event of the day. It is oddly flattering and mildly baffling at the same time. Why does your cat follow you everywhere? Is this simple curiosity, or is something deeper going on? Today we will explore the surprising reasons behind that persistent trail of paws, and by the end you will see those little footsteps in a whole new light. To begin, remember that cats live in a sensory world that is very different from ours. Where humans rely mainly on sight and words, cats interpret the world with scent, movement, and tiny social signals. Every surface in your home is part of a map they are constantly updating. When your cat follows you from room to room, part of that behavior is territorial. Cats mark and read spaces with scent glands on their face and body. When a cat rubs its head against the couch, the door frame, or even your leg, it is not being selfish. It is writing its name across the environment. Your presence moves through that map like a warm object moving through a landscape. Staying close allows the cat to maintain a familiar pattern of smells and signals. For many cats, being near you simply helps keep the household balanced. Curiosity is another big factor. Cats are natural information gatherers. They watch routines the way detectives watch a pattern. If your morning involves the kettle boiling, keys jangled, and a door opening, your cat is paying attention. Animals learn patterns because predictability equals safety and opportunity. When you stand up suddenly, that quick movement may indicate something new and potentially interesting. Is food coming? Is a window about to open? Even if nothing dramatic happens, the very act of not knowing is worth investigating. That little shuffle behind your ankles is often less a demand and more a question: what will happen next? There is an emotional layer as well. Do not let the memes fool you. Many cats form genuine attachments to their humans. They may not hug in the way a dog might, but their signals are clear for those who know how to read them. A head bump, a soft wrap of the tail around a leg, sitting close enough to warm your knee, these are acts of trust. Studies have shown that interactions between cats and their caretakers can increase oxytocin levels, the same hormone that helps parents bond with babies. When a cat follows you, it could be saying, in its own language, "I feel safe with you." That kind of trust is subtle. It shows up as quiet consistency rather than loud displays. Sometimes following is about opportunity. The bathroom is a good example. Something about a closed door and a human in a small, predictable space turns curiosity into devotion. Bathrooms often have interesting textures, warm surfaces, and reflective puddles, all of which can be appealing for a cat. More pragmatically, a human in a bathroom is an easy target for monitoring. From the cat standpoint, you are stationary and predictable, which makes observation simpler. And in many cases running water is fascinating to cats. The sound and motion catch their attention in the same way a moving toy would. So when your cat makes the pilgrimage to the bathroom, it is mixing curiosity with a little opportunism. For some cats, following borders on anxiety. Separation anxiety is a real issue in felines. Past trauma, frequent rehoming, or a chaotic early life can create a pattern of hyperattachment. What starts as interest can become clinginess, persistent vocalization, or destructive behavior when the human prepares to leave. If following is accompanied by pacing, excessive meowing, or signs of distress when you go out, this may not be affection at all. In those cases, the path forward is gentle desensitization, enrichment, and routine. Puzzle feeders, scheduled playtimes, and gradual departures can help a nervous cat feel more secure. When worry is driving behavior, kindness and structure tend to be the best remedy. Play and predatory instinct are essential pieces of the puzzle. Domestic cats retain the hunting rhythm of their ancestors, short, sharp bursts of energy interspersed with long periods of rest. Your movement triggers that miniature ambush response. A standing leg is simply something to stalk. A foot sliding under a blanket is suddenly prey. If your cat follows and then explodes into play, take it as an invitation. A short session with a wand toy, a bit of interactive play, can channel that stalk and pounce energy into something healthy and satisfying. Play is not merely fun. It is practice for instincts that need exercise, and it is a bonding ritual between cat and human. Learning is another practical mechanism. Cats are quick to learn cause and effect. If following you results in petting, treats, or attention, that behavior is reinforced. Over time, a cat will refine its strategy, follow when the person stands up at the times when food appears. This is why training your cat to wait calmly before receiving rewards can shift behavior. Reward calm, predictable behavior and you will get more of it. If you constantly react to a following cat with immediate attention or food, expect that behavior to stick. It is not manipulation. It is basic conditioning. There is an element of protection and vigilance mixed into the story. In the wild, felines keep an eye on members of their group. Domesticated cats bring some of that vigilance into the home. They may sit in doorways, perch on high shelves, and keep tabs on the comings and goings. That quiet lookout posture is a kind of guard duty. It is not heroic like a dog patrolling the yard, but it is observant and deliberate. Your cat may be the household sentinel in its own, low-key way. Social preference plays a role too. For cats, proximity communicates preference. If your cat chooses to nap by your feet rather than in a sunny patch across the room, that choice is meaningful. In multi-pet households, who chooses to be closest to a person becomes a statement. These choices reflect relationships and status, which human is a preferred companion, which lap is most appealing. Proximity is a powerful, non-verbal endorsement. Now, what practical steps can you take if the following becomes a problem, or if you want to encourage healthier independence? First, create structure. Puzzle feeders and foraging toys transform a human-dependent behavior into a self-sustaining activity. Second, schedule short, intense play sessions at predictable times. If your cat knows that a lively 10-minute play happens every evening, it can look forward to that activity rather than trailing you all day hoping for random interaction. Third, provide vertical spaces and hiding spots. Cats often follow humans because the ground-level options are less interesting than a human-provided perch. Shelves, cat trees, and window perches give a cat places to be near the action without being underfoot. If the following seems extreme or it emerges suddenly, check with your veterinarian. Behavior can be a subtle signal of physical discomfort. Loss of appetite, increased clinginess, or changes in litter box habits are all reasons to get a medical check. A vet can rule out pain or medical causes and recommend targeted behavioral strategies. There are a few household habits that commonly reinforce following without owners realizing it. One is feeding in response to approach. It is tempting to give a tidbit when a cat pads into the kitchen, but every little reward adds up. Another is using attention as a distraction. If your cat is noisy and you immediately pick it up or pet it to quiet it, you may be training louder and more persistent following. The goal is to be mindful about what counts as a reward and to be intentional in how you respond. Let us consider some small experiments you can try this week. Start by observing without interacting for a day or two. Take notes. When does your cat follow most? Is it meal times, when you go to the bathroom, or at bedtime? Knowing the pattern gives you leverage for change. Next, introduce a few puzzle feeders at strategic moments. Once your cat associates certain times with self-directed play, following should decline. Third, set a short daily play ritual of 5 to 10 minutes after a particular event, such as lunch or just before you leave. This predictable outlet reduces anxiety and channels energy constructively. Remember that subtle changes produce more stability than big leaps. If you abruptly ignore a cat that has long depended on your proximity, that can increase anxiety and escalate the behavior. Gentle, consistent change is the kinder and more effective path. If your cat responds poorly, slow the process down and add extra enrichment options. There is also the human element to consider. How you feel about the following matters. Some people adore a loyal, trailing companion. Others find it irritating or disruptive. Think about your own needs. If you enjoy the closeness, savor it. If it becomes a problem, use the strategies we discussed to shape the behavior without breaking the bond. The key is to align your routines with what helps both you and your cat feel content. Finally, celebrate the upside of this behavior. Those tiny footsteps are a compliment. In a species that values independence, choosing to follow is an expression of preference and trust. Your cat sees you as part of its world map, a moving landmark it wants to track. It is a small, daily vote of confidence. The next time your cat decides to trail you from room to room, take a moment to look back and meet that bright, earnest gaze. There is curiosity in those eyes, to be sure, but there is also strategy, habit, and often a lot of quiet affection. If you found this exploration helpful, consider subscribing to Catopedia for more insights into feline behavior, practical care tips, and little moments of cat wisdom. Tell us in the comments, where does your cat follow you most often, and what do you think it means? Your stories will help other cat lovers spot patterns and discover small ways to improve life for their cats.